So for this video, I just want to cover some changes to the movement system because there's a movement update coming out here very shortly. This is an interim movement update. This is not to be mistaken for the planned update with um, the configurable system menus and maybe the fixed netcode and such. I'm just releasing this because there's a mapper that is currently working on the project and he's having to deal with the old movement system. So this build, it's going to be offline as well. It's, as I said, it's just for the mapper, but everybody else that's really interested in the movement system can play around with it. And there has been one significant change, which I'll cover here once I may get a bit of speed, because it tends to work best when you've got quite a bit of speed. But anyhow, I'm going to cover the other minor changes. Until then, you'll note that the number being displayed for my speed, it's a traditional speedometer, but you also notice it's very small. This number is now being represented in meters instead of the wonky Unreal units. So for everybody that deals with metric, like the United States should, you'll be at home. For everybody in the US, have fun learning metric. Yes, I'm in the US. Yes, I know metric. And yes, I know I'm a heathen. But anyhow, that covers the speedometer. There's been a minor tweak to the ski button behavior. For anybody who uses spacebar, it's meaningless. It doesn't change anything what you're doing. But what has happened is the spacebar used to turn skiing off, on and off in an absolute manner. That's been changed to a toggle. So when you press it, it toggles it, and when you release it, it toggles it. And so for people that exclusively use the spacebar, as I said, it's meaningless because it'll toggle on and then it'll toggle off. But for people like me who use the ski toggle and spacebar, it means that you can now, if you want to slow down really easily, you can just press the spacebar and then release, and it'll turn off while the spacebar is pressed. It's kind of handy. And it also leads into the next movement system I need to demonstrate here. I got enough speed for it. This is something of a regenerative braking maneuver or something or other. I don't really know how to describe it at the moment. Maybe somebody will come up with a snappy name, but anyhow, here we go. I'm going to carve as efficiently as I can, and then I'm going to release, and you'll notice that I slowed down, 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 and then as soon as I started skiing again, I began to build up speed. That's the entire maneuver right there. And the whole point of this is if you want to make a turn in a smaller distance. Because the carving system operates on time, meaning I think currently it takes 2 seconds or 3 seconds to do a 180-degree rotation of your velocity. I mean, technically it's not a rotation, but close enough. So if you reduce your speed, you can make that same turn in a smaller distance. And because this system it stores energy, you can recover some of your speed throughout the turn. Now this system, it actually has the potential, you can actually gain speed through this. If you're extremely adept at carving, you can gain speed. And it can be somewhat noticeable. You have to have pretty good speed going into it to begin with, but for the most part it is pretty neutral, if not detrimental. I mean, I've been messing around with this for quite a while, and it's very difficult to consistently gain speed. And it's not because of a code issue, it's because it's very precise, the carving and how it interacts with this mechanic. Now, I should also note that the speed, it only works while you're on the surface. You can't let's say carve
5 minutes
and then jet off, and you won't just build speed in the air. As a matter of fact, if you are not touching a surface, it is neutralized, all the speed you gained. And the other thing that's worth noting is that stopping is completely passive now. If you just want to stop, you can just stop skiing. You don't have to do anything. And so that's, oh, I killed myself, I always forget. The death camera, of course, if anybody hasn't seen it, death camera has been brought back properly. I've messed with the ragdoll friction and rather resistance, such that it shouldn't be so twitchy when you die. And there will be more death cam animations here to make it a bit less jarring, I suppose. But that's planned for the future. Anyhow, trying to keep this video short and on to the point, and really that's covered everything. I'm going to quickly cover the jetpack changes just before anybody that doesn't know. The jetpack is on a linear regeneration now, and the two bars you see at the top, the left hand blue bar is your jetpack energy, the right hand orange bar is the planned weapon energy. And you'll notice that the two share a pool, and you'll notice that the jetpack never can deplete the weapon bar at the moment, and that's actually planned. And what it's meant to be is the jetpack has a threshold, and then the weapons have a threshold. It's not, it won't always be, or rather, it doesn't always have to be. The weapons have potentially more energy than jetpacks. It's just that's the way it's set up at the moment, and we'll see how it plays out once energy weapons really get added into the game. The green ball there, that is actually your regeneration. It represents your percent regeneration of the maximum regen rate. And you'll notice that as soon as I deplete my jetpack pool, that the regen rate also begins to deplete. And this prevents those very large gravity jumps. They were low gravity jumps, rather. And it also makes the jetpack feel a lot more kind of classic, I should say. Because, I mean, for instance, for those that came from tribes, they'll remember that the jetpack, the old T1, T2 jetpack, it pulsed when you ran out of energy. And this is almost a form of that pulsing, except for the fact that Project Freefall jetpacks, they operate constantly. It provides a much smoother experience, and it, in my opinion, is the way the jetpacks really should operate anyways, because consistency is key. But anyhow, that's it for this video. If you have any questions or comments, of course, you can post them in the YouTube comments or on the game forums. And as I said, there is a quick movement update coming out. It pretty much exclusively is changes to the movement system. I'm going to include the coily weapon that I've posted a few videos for.
2 minutes remain.
Just so people can mess around with it. It is in no way something that is going to be added to the game immediately or something like that, just because the control scheme at the moment is not optimal, and it could be better. It's just one of those ideas I'm exploring. Anyhow, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and look for the update here later in the day. I really do like first-person death camera.